One of my favorite American soccer videos that's out there right now is a video that was taken of a sports talk simulcast from the Boston, USA area. The show was called Felger and Maz, and they were talking about the U.S. national team's failure to qualify for the World Cup. So it was shortly after October 10th, 2017, and their question was, why doesn't USA Soccer use a promotion relegation system that's used all over the world? And specifically, they're talking about Ricardo Silva of Miami FC and NASL offering $4 billion to MLS to align with a promotion relegation open system. And they were comparing it to how in U.S. sports, people know and understand merit-based competition, and they love underdog stories, David versus Goliath stories. And they were talking about on this simulcast how the worry is that Americans won't understand promotion relegation, and their reaction was that that's just a crazy notion. Americans will eat up that concept. They would love it, in their own words. The reaction was amazing from these guys who aren't necessarily soccer experts or global soccer experts in the least, but even they could see that American soccer, if it shifted to an open system with promotion relegation, where you would have thousands of USA Soccer clubs competing on a level playing field, it would be awesome for fan interest, attention, and investment. Look at how we soak up David versus Goliath stories in March when the NCAA Division I college basketball tournament takes place. These smaller schools that are the 15, 16 seed that take a powerhouse team to the brink or maybe even upset them. Those stories are absolutely viral in America for that week or two. Well, they last. So when we look at the unpopularity of the American soccer scene today, our domestic game, it's the MLS, our current first division, attracts just 7% of American soccer television viewers as a whole. So we are vastly underachieving when it comes to America's actual love for the sport of soccer itself. So don't confuse our distaste for MLS with a distaste for soccer. No, we love soccer. It's already one of America's major sports. We just don't like that soccer, the global version, has been shoehorned into the closed shop US sport franchise model. We want to see the real thing played out here. We want our own storylines. We want our own tales of teams from the fifth division on the brink of extinction, climbing their way up to the first division, just like AFC Bournemouth did over in England. Or stories like Leicester City, a team that's bounced up and down the first and second tiers in England, rising to win the first division out of nowhere in a miraculous season. We want those same kinds of stories here in America. And just think, if we did implement a system of promotion relegation in our soccer, when that's contrasted up against U.S. sports, which, yes, they're popular, but when all of a sudden you add the dynamic of equality and opportunity, merits-based competition, where independent clubs that represent cultures and values have a fair chance to actually earn their way up and down the ecosystem. Imagine if that's contrasted up against the U.S. sports model, where it's 30 of the same teams each year, and the bottom 15 teams just get the tank if things aren't going their way that season. Compare and contrast that to relegation battles in open systems around the world. If you are in the bottom 10 teams in the first division, you can't rest on anything. Every single game is massive for you. Every single moment, every single point is massive for your survival in the first division. And if you keep falling down divisions, the survival of your club as a whole. So the stakes are so much higher. If we injected that into U.S. sports culture, imagine how many people would flock to this new concept of open system USA soccer. Americans love the real version of soccer. We love the World Cup. We love the U.S. national teams. We love EA Sports FIFA, the video game. What's the common denominator there? It's all authentic global soccer. But when it comes to MLS, we simply ignore it because it's not the same thing. And fans are smart. They can tell the difference between fake and real. So what we need to do now is look at the rest of the world and say, I think the reason behind their success is they're simply resting on the essence of soccer, which is equality and opportunity for all. That's why the sport is so popular around the world, and we need to choose to do the same thing with our soccer here. Go back to the essence of soccer, which is everyone having a fair chance. It's aligning with American values, the American dream. So when the U.S. Soccer Federation or an alternate U.S. Soccer Federation finally decides to make this one key policy change, we will see our country finally leverage its massive, massive potential as a soccer nation. So if you like this video, make sure to share it out across social media and also subscribe right here to my channel. And I'll talk to you soon.